because it went through my mind, well, if, as you do sometimes, well, if she can't see, maybe she can't hear, or she doesn't understand, or, you make up all these stories. But I was gracious, but probably treating her instead of like an 11 or 12-year-old, maybe like a 6 or 7-year-old. And they came in, and the husband and wife wanted to come into my private room where I worked. And this young lady was staying out in the living room. And my home, all my homes, they're gracious, and I like to think that they're filled with all good spirits. And at that cycle of my life, I was so aligned with the angel kingdom. There were angels kind of everywhere. It wasn't obnoxious because they were all beautiful angels, but you couldn't help. If you were sitting there, you would see a case with them, and, one glorious one might be standing out, whatever. And this young lady had to be sitting out there all by herself. Well, the husband and the wife and I chatted, and of course their concern was, and they were looking to me for this answer, would this child be blind? I don't actually remember what the diagnosis was according to Dr. Bartlett here. I really couldn't tell you because I was so blown away by what happened afterward. We go out into the living room after the consultation, and I say to the young lady, why don't you come back into the other room and have maybe a glass of water or something. And I knew, I didn't have many sweets in the house, but I knew that I had maybe a couple of Hershey Kisses tucked away. So she comes back in, and I looked at her, I said, maybe you were thirsty, or are you okay? And I have this little treat for you. And absolutely on cue, she looked at me behind these bottle eyeglasses and said, no, I wasn't lonely. I didn't need anything. All your angels are here with me. I thought, holy smokes, because what she was now leading me to understand, we were standing in it and of it. And here this child that Western medicine had said, nope, she's as good as gone. This child had the gift of real seeing. She wasn't seeing any little statues. She was talking to and playing with her new friends that she found in my home. And I thought of that story this morning as I was contemplating and really perplexed by what I see in this world. And all of a sudden, I thought, I've got to invite the angels back in again, and master teachers and master guides and ascended teachers. And all of a sudden, the room became, I almost couldn't breathe. I could feel the presence of everyone, and I could feel their comfort, and I could feel their drive to help me share with you. Come on, will you put the swords down? We're here at a turning point in eternity, a huge galactic portal. That's why over the past several years, everything I do and say seems to have the word portal connected to it. This wasn't my pet word 5 years ago. No way. But you and I are to become a living portal. And I can't, I know everybody's got their own agenda, and I must honor it, and I must allow it. But I say to those of you who can hear me, there is this bigger opening in consciousness. But you have to invite it in. You can't say, I want it, and then be hostile and disconnected and resistant and push against. The only thing that resistance gets is heightened resistance. And it's a law. These are laws of the universe. If you question what the laws of the universe are, would you please go on my website and purchase a copy of Spiritual Law? Simple, drip by drip laws of the universe presented in user-friendly format. And most of the people don't have a clue that they're in violation of their own inner law, because you don't know what the laws are. We're so busy trying to figure out what the human laws are, which incidentally, most of you know, are completely corrupt and not to your advantage. But they're paying attention to that, and if you would all go within, and oddly, you don't even need a book to listen to what your laws are. They're simple. The laws are, you are one, you're it. That's basically it. I am that. Get there again. And if I'm that, dang it, you're that. So how can I go against you? I might be addicted to the color pink. You might hate pink. So what? So what do we care? Don't you see how we've been manipulated and manhandled and misprogrammed? And that's what this year can show you. How much you have been programmed. If you will simply open to learn it. And stop taking what you're being fed mindlessly, consistently. And I look upon it and go painfully. A girlfriend the other day she put something on Facebook. The more I see of Facebook, the more ill I feel. But there's no way around it in my case, because to get to my professional page, you have to have the regular page. So, okay, once in a while I go there. And she was posting things that I could barely talk to her because I could not believe she can't see the danger and the harm that's happening. And then I scrolled down a little more and everybody can't see. And I don't get that. I want to see. Now, some of you say you want to see, but then do nothing about it. If you want to see, you have to rip your own friggin' veil back. And no one can do it for you. I can tell you the danger of you not doing it. And talk about Groundhog Day, you'll keep having them. You'll do this whole earth experience with all of its turmoil for another 36,000 years. Now, that's your right. But boy, I don't know. I think the idea of home is good to me. Now, that does not mean I'm going to jump ship and take my life. If anything, it gives me the impetus to really connect correctly until it's over. That's another reason why you need to go see A Dog's Purpose. It really showed you the continuity of life. Honestly, it was rather sad at times, but it has such a wonderful message. Which, again, I will say is why the critics hate it. They hate a wonderful message. I don't know how they are wired, these people, or what kind of Kool-Aid they're drinking, that they can't honestly say when something has a valid, good message, although I just got the answer, they can't see it. So you see, it's a ship of fools being steered by a ship of fools. You find your own way up that mountain. You'll be perfectly fine. And there are souls like myself that have generously said, I'll hold your hand. I can't do the work for you, but I can hold your hand while you're wobbling. And we all wobble. Sometimes I need my hand held. That's the nature of life. So I'm quite excited about this galactic month, and it is a galactic month of, are you ready, integrity, where we are to harmonize and accept, that we came to care. You came to care for yourself. And how good a job are you at being your own caretaker? I don't want to make judgments here, but lots of times people aren't doing such a good job of taking care of themselves energetically. Yes, okay, you may go to the gym every day, but energetically, are you really caring for yourself? Yeah, so there we go with that. Let me see if there's anything else I want to tell you about that. Isn't this interesting? The collective realization that we are all participating in the same cosmic mind will melt historical barriers that have divided us due to forgetfulness. Basically, you've just forgotten that we're one. That's what's happened here. Talk about Alzheimer's. We have like a massive case of dementia and Alzheimer's across the board. So the people who are really carrying the torch with that frightful, I don't know if it's frightful, with that situation, you and I, as we forget our oneness, you might as well call yourself an Alzheimer victim or person or whatever. They're not really victims. I don't like the word victim. It doesn't have any goodness to it. And I don't think any of us are victims unless you want to think you are. You think you are and you are. So there we have the galactic thing. Anything else I want to tell you about that? I think there is. Let's see here. Okay. Yeah. I think we've lost sight of the vastness of the whole cosmic reality. I'm quite sure we have. Because we're so focused on the minutia. And so as you gain again your recognition of the vastness of this reality and the billions of galaxies contained in numberless world systems, you'll recognize they too are at different stages of evolutionary development. The problem with this place called Earth, and it really isn't a problem, the situation with Earth is we're very low on the evolutionary scale, which is why we continue to war and hate each other and be aggressive. It's a very low planet. Now, isn't that just lovely? And what about in your cosmic awareness and vastness that really recognizes you came to remember that and try to help elevate this lovely planet to its rightful position? We're so low on the evolutionary scale that, of course, we still murder people. We murder each other. And that is why the ones from higher planets are very hesitant to come here. And what a pity, because they're your siblings from other systems. It's kind of like you have a brother or a sister who's a genius, and they're loving and they're wonderful, and they were not going to come anywhere near you because you might murder them. Yeah. Okay, kids. Think about your role and your job. Just think about it. I was just about to say, please think about it. No, I can't even go there anymore because you're in charge of your life. And if you don't want to do it, so be it. Okay, what's also happening this week? When I came in here today, I had no idea that this show would go this way. So I'm not sure who out there is what's happening, but there certainly is a feeling that something's impending or something's coming. And why this is happening is the more sensitive the person is, the more they get a sense that there's something about to happen. It's the mark of a sensitive person. And what they're feeling is this potential giant evolutionary shift. And it's been predicted. Many souls can't get through the portal at this time, but many will. So many are being taken out in what I call the factories, in the hospitals. Many souls are being taken out that way. So they'll just be in the wings until, another evolutionary cycle. But those who are sensitive, dig your heels in and try to just even contemplate the vastness of what you're tapping into, because it is so huge, there's really no words for it. We're too limited in our wordage here because we do not speak the language of light down here. We speak the human language, and boy, has that ever get us in trouble. If we would go back to our origin, where you only speak the language of light, that would tap you right